If you're a business owner wanting to get more time back or even create time and more freedom for yourself, I think this video is going to be interesting to you. We're going to talk about how we use technology to delegate more and help us to become more successful and build a better running business so that we can get more time to do the things that we love and more freedom, more profit, and more impact. My name's Pete Moriarty, and I help small business owners getting their tech and their people and their systems all connected together, and we help small and medium business owners all over the world with Google Workspace and other technology tools to make sure your technology strategy aligns to your business strategy and you can be successful. Now, one of the tools that we use is called the Growth Roadmap, and that is a framework for businesses going about the growth of their business to know where to put their attention on what technology strategy should be implemented. Now, we've got other videos covering exactly what the Growth Roadmap is, the different stages, and if you're a business owner knowing what stage you're at the Growth Roadmap, you can jump onto the playlist feature on our YouTube channel and learn all about that stage of business. Now, in this video, I want to talk about the symbiosis of people, technology, and systems, because when all of those come together, you really create an impactful business. And of course, you've got to have a business that's got, alignment to mission and vision and values, and you've got to have some big goals and where you want to go. But the actual execution, the making it happen work, happens with your people and your technology. And I've always been fascinated by that. How do we bring together people and use technology to maximize what people do? I'm really against the idea of automating so much that you start to treat humans or employees like robots. And I'm really more for how can we use technology to really empower the humans that are a part of our business. And so that's kind of the lens that I approach this idea of combining people with technology in a business, particularly in a service business, which is very human focused. We've got a lot of human relationships. I really want to make sure that when tech is going into a business, it's something that's going to actually support people. So I've got some ideas here in how tech can help you to delegate. And for me, the point of delegating is really for a business owner to ascend to a point where you actually have the freedom that you desired when you started the business. And so when you're building a team around you and you're scaling a business, eventually, ideally, you want to get to the stage of having about 20 employees. And what we find is around the 20 employee mark, the business owner is able to get some freedom back. They're able to step back off the tools, allow the business to kind of run itself, and you'll still have responsibilities like finance and paying the bills and those kind of things. But for the most part, you can kind of take a bit of a step back and enjoy the freedom with profit and income still coming as well. So here's some ideas on how we can use tech to get better at delegating, which is going to help us on our path to business growth. Now, the first one is using a technology system is going to take out the guesswork. I often find that if I'm not using some kind of system to manage to-do lists or tasks or what I've delegated to other people, I tend to forget. And that's because myself, as my personality, I'm a creative entrepreneur, and so it's just the kind of thing that doesn't stick around in my mind to be really strong with follow-up. Some systems that I've used in the past, like maybe writing things on a big whiteboard, they work to an extent, but it also ties me to a particular location. And so I try and avoid using any kind of manual systems like a physical notebook or sticky notes or something written on the wall, because I like to be flexible with where I work. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't use those. You should use the system that works best for you. But using some kind of technology, particularly when we're in the lifestyle now of having remote work and having people work from home and people wanting to work flexibly, we kind of need something that's not just going to be in one location at the same time. And so when we use a technology tool like, for example, a task list that's shared and online and accessible in the cloud and accessible on our mobile devices as well, then that's the kind of thing where no matter where our team members are, it's going to take out the guesswork of where they are up to with their tasks and their projects. Now, one of the things that I love to do is use this technology tool on my mobile so that if I'm down the beach or I'm on the road, obviously not on weekends when I'm having my personal time, but I can keep connected to the team no matter where I am in a physical location. So we want to delegate something to someone using some kind of system, and I'm talking about tasks here as an example, but if we're delegating something to someone in a task management system, that task is now off my mind and it's in their hands, and the system keeps it accountable, meaning I don't have to remember to keep that person accountable. That's a nice segue into my next point, which is telling you a story about jelly beans. I want you to imagine a large jar of jelly beans, and it's got all different kinds of colors, and it's got probably hundreds or even thousands of jelly beans in there. And I want you to think about that jar of jelly beans being representative of the amount of attention that you have to manage multiple tasks at the same time. Now, some of us can handle maybe only 5 jelly beans or 10 jelly beans at a time, right? And it's like, I've got to pick up the kids from school today. This is what I'm doing this weekend. This is what I've got on next week. These are the tasks that I want to do this week. This is what I need to delegate to that team member. Oh, there's that email that I've got to reply to, right? So maybe, let's say a business owner's got a little bit more that they can handle than most people. Maybe you've got 100 jelly beans in there or even 500 jelly beans in there, right? If you're a little bit more on the ADD kind of spectrum like myself, maybe you can handle 500 or 1,000 jelly beans in there from time to time, right? Now, each time you have an open loop, each time you have something that's on your mind consuming mental bandwidth, you take a jelly bean out of the jar, right? That's one jelly bean consumed. And that jelly bean doesn't go back into the jar until you've actually closed that loop. Now, one of the examples that I give in our inbox course, which by the way is available for free to anyone on Google Workspace, jump into the transfer in offer below this video and you'll get access to that. But in the inbox course, I talk about when you're driving down the street and you've got your phone in your phone holder, if you see a notification of an email pop up from a client and it's like, oh, damn, that's that client that's like a pain in the butt and I should get back to them quickly. Or maybe that's, about a project that's running late and I need to put my input in there. While you're driving down the street, you can't do anything about that. Maybe you're stopped at the traffic lights and there's no real safe way for you to jump in and reply to that email. But as long as you continue driving along with that email on your mind, that's a jelly bean out of your jar. And what happens is this happens thousands of times a day. Specifically, I have some strategy on how to manage that with your phone. And if you jump into the transfer in offer, you'll get access to our full Google inbox course. And that actually explains how that works. But ideally, we want to make sure that we keep our jelly beans in our jar, and that frees up more jelly beans for high value tasks. You would have heard of the 80-20 rule, which is that 80% of our results come from only 20% of our work. And ideally, we want to make sure that the jelly beans that we've got, which are a limited resource, are going towards that 20% work, the really high value work. So why is that important for delegating and using technology? Well, if we're using a technology system to delegate tasks, or we're using a technology system to communicate more effectively with our team, what that means is for us, we're not leaving so many jelly beans out of the jar. It means that we're going to keep the loops closed because once we've delegated something to someone else, we don't have to remember to follow up because the technology system will help us to do that. Or it may even automatically follow up for us, depending on what system we're talking about. So my number 3 concept for you on why tech will help with delegation is around accountability. What I know intrinsically is that in a business, accountability breeds performance. And when there is a culture of accountability, that breeds a culture of performance. So what do I mean by that? Well, when you have team meetings and you get the team together, and I don't know how regularly you do this, but we do this every single week with each one of our teams. We make sure that an important part of those meetings are not just to get together and talk about strategy, they are actually to make sure we are checking in on accountability of what we agreed we were going to do for the week. Now, we're running quarterly strategy planning, we're running annual strategy planning, and so we've got a pretty good idea of where our business is going to be and what strategic projects we want to have executed at any time in the year. And so each week, that's our opportunity to check in on what did I promise I was going to do last week, and what did I get done, and where are my projects up to right now. Now, where technology comes into this process is we just open up our task list, we put that straight shared into the meeting, and then everyone is able to report on their tasks. And so they're not just reporting what they feel like into the meeting, they're reporting what was agreed by everyone last week. And that's very important because what that breeds is a culture of accountability that, okay, well, I can goof off on the tasks that I don't feel like doing, but I'm going to have to show up in front of my colleagues next week and actually share whether or not I did what I said I was going to do. And so that piece of technology there and the just simple practice, very, very simple practice of sharing tasks and sharing strategies and progress on those tasks and projects publicly to the rest of your team breeds amazing performance and amazing accountability. If that's something that you'd like to try with your team, I'd love to know how you go with that. Please drop that down in the comments and let me know if that's something that's worked for you. So at the end of the day, technology should be a force to empower our team to do more, but it's also something that can help with the accountability, and it's going to help you as a business owner create more freedom for yourself by bringing together the people and the technology to empower everyone to have more impactful work. Now, if you're interested in delegating your sales process and your relationship management with your customers or your clients or your partners to other team members, so you're not the one having to play sales manager in your business and always follow up with the team constantly to see where they're at with that project, or remind them to, call a certain customer every month or every quarter, which doesn't always necessarily happen. For salespeople, a lot of the time is spent just doing what is right in front of them. So if you're looking for a technology system to put high value tasks right in front of your sales team, then you might be interested in considering Copper CRM. It's a great tool for managing relationships in your business, and you don't just have to use it for sales. You can use it for customer service delivery or pretty much anything to do with where you're managing a relationship. And it works great with Google Workspace. If you're interested in a consultation or learning more about Copper CRM, we have an exclusive offer for watchers of this YouTube channel. So jump down on the link right below this video and you can check out what we've got in store for you with Copper CRM. We recommend Copper CRM as our tool of choice for small and medium-sized business owners because it's the only tool that uses AI-driven analytics to pull in data from all your different systems, reducing the amount of manual data entry required for entering records. Now, it also is the #1 tool to be directly integrated with Google Workspace, and it's got deep integration with all of the tools that you use every day, like Google Drive and Gmail and everything else in the Google ecosystem. Now, if you're a business owner who's right now failing to delegate because you have got all of your customer information up in your head instead of being tracked in a system, if you're fearing letting go of things to other staff members so they can do them instead of you, if you've got to react every time a customer calls because you don't have the customer's history in front of you, or maybe you're the kind of business owner where you don't know where your marketing dollars are going and you don't know what's coming back your way from the extent of what you've spent in those marketing efforts, well, this is probably a good move for you. Now, I'm inviting you to install Copper CRM, experience a modern CRM system for your business that doesn't require expensive consultants to get it set up or months of implementation time. You get value right from when you put the keys in the ignition and get started. And it's easy to get started with itGenius. You get a bunch of amazing perks by buying your licenses through us, and it doesn't cost you any extra. We even have discounts available so you can get it potentially even less than what's available on the street price. If you're not yet a customer of itGenius, we can show you how to get started in just a couple of simple steps. Click the link below to learn more about getting started with a modern CRM, and our team will be on the other side of this page to help you out on your journey.